What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. Why? Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake.
Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to Wrestling Gold Friday Night. Yes, boys and girls, we made it to another Friday, and you guessed it. As soon as you start, the internet goes poof. How rude. How rude of me. And please see me nose. I am back on. So yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody had a good week so far. As you can tell, perfect. I am still on the road, still out of town, but luckily I do get to go home tomorrow morning to enjoy my Labor Day weekend, 2.5 day weekend. Which is 3, but hey, guess I'll have fun, celebrate 2.5 days. Anyway, it is Friday. We always crack open a cold one. Unfortunately, I'm cracking open a cold water today. My beer's at home, and get one back to have with me here. And yes, I'm being lazy. Didn't want to have one more thing to carry downstairs tomorrow morning. Like, well, I got water in the fridge. Like I said, I don't discriminate when it comes to cracking open a cold one. It can be an adult beverage or a soda, whatever you floats your boat. Because it is Friday, time to talk about the good old days of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was wrestling and wrestling was real. But damn it, it is still real to us. I just want to kind of ad lib here, get on the chat. So yes, you know what, you folks know the drill by now. If you don't, repeat to you again. Yes, I am live on YouTube. Usually I do YouTube and Facebook, but the internet is still not the greatest for what I'm doing. So kind of multi-screen. Not very ideally. It could barely handle this, I believe. But so yeah, if you join him on YouTube, the chat's open. Drop a chat, share a memory, or just simply say hello. That always works for me. Uh, if you don't watch this live, you can always catch it on the replay wherever you want, and uh, say something in the comments. I will respond to comments, positive or negative. It don't matter to me. I was saying something too. Like I can handle it. You can handle that. But if you're gonna just uh you know not be or just be a total ass, you don't have to be. WWE. Crown Jewel, Buddy Murphy be back. Lesnar and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed championship. And that's what you'd like to subscribe. I will as soon as it's over with, and I'll but anyway, so yeah, like hopefully everybody had a good weekend. And yes, going back to again. 20-minute chat, say hello, give me your thoughts. So if you're not a subscriber yet, be a champ, click on that subscribe button. To kind of ease in a little time here. Because I did start, okay, the intro button right at 8 o'clock. I am on time. Usually kind of punctual, I like to think. But yeah, today was there's anybody in construction out there, especially superintendents and concrete foremen and superintendents, just on a normal work, uh, doing anything over say a 50 cubic yard concrete pour in the afternoon, it's not a good idea. If it's going to be 100 or more, you want to start around 7 o'clock. Hello, Karen Poole. Shaking hand. But yeah, that's not a good idea, especially this time of year. I mean, it wasn't like blistering hot today. It was like 85 today, and that's actually fine. Uh, if you're just kind of doing a walk around and stuff like that, it was pretty comfortable to do that. Um, Working, like I said, it's probably better. You'll sweat or whatever, but it wasn't like the unbearably stuffy, hot 100-degree. But it's kind of what was it? Somebody said fault fall or fake fall or something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll get probably another week down the road or something like that where we'll have a blistering hot couple of days or a week or something like that. Then of course real fall will come and you kind of put the hoodies on and and October comes, and October is let's say one of my favorite months because that's Halloween month, favorite holiday. I mean, like I said, eat candy, watch scary movies. What can be more fun than that, especially at my age? Yeah, when you get when you get about I guess 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that. Eh, you're the one you want like electronics, video games. And you kind of get on that kid phase of toys and stuff like that. So then once you hit 20s, it's like, I just want to buy myself. I'm talking about Christmas. I want to buy myself. Yeah. And then you got to buy other people's shit too. I'm so I'm so bad. I got for Christmas I do what do you call this? Gift cards for adults, cash for kids. And one of these days I'll tell everybody why. There is a story behind that. One of these days I will tell that story. Oh, how I decided I was in a store in a aisle and decided right then next year gift card, cash for kids. There, done. In a whopping 15 minutes at the at but yeah, I will tell that story some other day. Round number two. Um, but yes, so yeah, if you're one of these people, especially on a Friday, because it's doing a Georgia TOT mix design, and it is basically straight cement. Yes, okay. For those out there, got concrete. Don't call concrete cement. Now cement is part of the concrete mixture, but you got stone, aggregate, sand and all that, and additives to make concrete. And cement's one of them. But there's apparently a lot of cement in the state DOT mix, and it can get kind of hot, and it sets up really quickly. And plus, DOT is a little, kind of throwing people's heads. It was over my. If I wasn't doing this, I would have no clue about this either. But uh, got what's called basically when we do slump test, we kind of use a triangle type mold and pyramid type mold. And when you pull it up, it's got kind of sand. That take a measurement, and of course, the higher the measurement, the wetter it is, and they don't like it when it's too wet. Usually, out of 5. But if any of you people are in the construction business, um, and this is like commercial jobs, but state DOT, it's got to be between a 2 and a 4. So they were pumping it out, went out like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, 4, and it was on the ground. But like I said, that's up really quickly, and sometimes through wasn't as quick as they pump operators pumping it out. Got the trucks there pretty good time, but for 100 yards, it still took us 2 hours. I mean, sometimes maybe hour and a half, maybe give or take, but or hour and a half or less. Sometimes it could be 100 yard. Uh, but I mean, unless it's one of those slabs, and the concrete guy's like, "Hey, I want the trucks like 15 minutes apart." I don't really like that, but this wasn't the case here. It's just keep them coming. Um, but we didn't have any trucks like that. We had 2 trucks, and by the time one truck would leave, another one would be just pulling in and backing up. That wasn't a problem. It was um, just sometimes the delay, and of course it was kind of messing up the pump truck and everything, and constant the truck operator having to fill up his tank, water, and this stuff was setting up quickly too. I mean, 85 degrees. But yeah, that was their adventure day. But I mean, it still looked pretty good. Uh, I got my samples and everything slumped well for what it was supposed to be. Temperatures were okay. Uh, and from what kind of seeing, I think it's gonna look good. It's basically it's for box culvert, so it's kind of like a glorified pudding slab. It end up that way. Anyway, enough about me. I think I wasted enough time here. Let's get to it. Talk about the good old days of pro wrestling. Let's see. Let me get my notes together here. Like I said, don't have 2 screens, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And of course, today is August 29th. For everything I mentioned here would have happened on, as you guessed it, August 29th. Let's let her go. This is gonna be kind of awkward here. Well, not this side. That might work. All right. On this date in 1970, Blackjack Lanza defeated Dr. X in a basically if Dr. X lost, he would have to unmask. He unmasked and wound up being Dick Fire. Dick Fire, of course, would become the original Destroyer after this. Other matches on the card: Lars Anderson and Larry Hennig defeated the Crusher and Bad Boy Polinsky. Pepper Gomez defeated Butcher Bashan. Eduardo Carpenter defeated Killer Paul Diamond, not the Paul Diamond, a bad company, of course. Defeated Jack Daniels. Did he go to rehab or something? And Jack Daniels was his. Only kidding. Bill Howard defeated Frank Hickey. On this date in 1975, the NWA annual meeting was held, and they elected Jack Atkinson, famously known as Fritz Marnerick. He was elected the new NWA president. On this date in 1977, in Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry Lawler defeated Bill Dundee to win the Southern title in a hair versus car Texas death match. Like I said, like every week, it's like this. They would have a match. They've had long-standing feuds, and this thing would went on for ever. Kind of like him and Austin Idol, but it's like we're hitting that period here where every Monday it would be Bill Dundee versus Jerry Lawler. Other matches on that card: Cowboy Frazier and Armand Hussein with Bruce Sawyer defeated the Angel, Brute Bernard, and Homer Odell. Dr. X defeated Gladiator in a mask versus mask match. Not sure who the Gladiator was, not listed. Pat Barrett and Norval Lawson defeated the Exterminators. Leroy Brown drew with Rhynomyas. Southern Tag Team Champions Dick Roberts and Jerry Brown defeated the Exterminators. On this date in 1981, the Masked Superstar who was the national champion, defeated NWA Georgia champion Tommy Rich. to win both titles in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni in Atlanta. What's going on, Joe King? How's everything going? Is the French Angel defeated Rick Vieira. Bruno San Martino Jr. defeated French Angel Rick Vieira. David San Martino Jr. defeated David Vieira. Steve-O defeated Professor Sonoda. Kevin Von Erich defeated Brian St. John. Bruiser Brody defeated a guy named by the name of Chris Kanyon. But this wasn't Mortis, it was King Kong Bundy. George Wells Mr. Wrestling 2 defeated Mike Sharp and Big John Studd. Michael Hayes and Andre the Giant defeated Jimmy Snuka and Terry Gordy. Also on this date in 1981 in St. Petersburg, Florida at the Bayfront Center, NWA World Champion Dusty Rhodes defeated the Assassin #1 in a Texas death match. Jack Briscoe defeated Dory Funk Jr. Jerry Briscoe defeated the Assassin #3, who was unmasked as Mr. Saito. This was a hair versus mask match. Jerry Lawler battled Terry Funk in a double countout in a take fist match. Charlie Cook defeated Buzz Sawyer to retain the Florida Championship. The Kiwi Sheepherders, Jonathan Boyd and Luke Williams defeated Mike Graham and Steve Kern. El Gran Apollo defeated Bobby Jaggers, and Tommy Gilbert battled Hiro Matsuda to a draw. Uh-oh. Can't read everything. Oh, no. Had to get us a Whopper. Where's mine at then? Of course, you had to, 2 hours to bring me mine. Still, no excuse. Do better. Maybe that'll work. All right. Okay. On this date in 1982 at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a national heavyweight title tournament. Matt Bourne defeated Johnny Rich. And yes, that is the legit cousin of Tommy Rich. Paul Orndorff defeated Foley Anderson. Buzz Sawyer defeated Tom Pritchard. Brad Armstrong defeated the Iron Sheik. Ernie Ladd battled the Masked Superstar to a double countout. Super Destroyer, who was Scott Irwin, defeated Brad Armstrong. Paul Orndorff defeated Matt Bourne. And in the finals, it was the Super Destroyer defeating Paul Orndorff to become the new national heavyweight champion. The Samoans defeated the Freebirds to win the NWA National Tag Team titles. And in a no DQ match, Tommy Rich defeated Don Morocco. Also in 1982, in the AWA in St. Paul, Minnesota, Buck Zumkov, Otto Swans defeated Nick Botwinkle to win the AWA World Heavyweight title. Other matches on that card: Buck Zumkov defeated Kenny J. Bobby Heenan defeated Ray Stevens by disqualification. Sergeant Rene Goulet battled Steve Olsnowski to a draw. I know why they called him Steve O all the time now. Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell defeated Rick Martel and Tito Santana. Hey, the High Flyers defeated the Strike Force. That's interesting. Ken Batera, Bobby Duncan, and Jesse Ventura battled Baron Von Raschke, Kurt Hennig, and Brad Rennigan's to a draw. And this day in 1986 was the Sam Mushnick Memorial Tournament. Sam Mushnick, a longtime president of the NWA. The matches include Harley Race defeated Brian Blair. John Morocco defeated Great the Hammer Valentine, where they ended up in a double disqualification. As a result, Harley Race defeated round. More first round action. Adrian Adonis defeated King Tonga. Junkyard Dog defeated Hercules Hernandez. Bruce Beefcake defeated Lanny Poffo. Pedro Morales defeated Dory Hoss Funk Jr. Billy Jack Haynes defeated Jimmy Jack Funk. Ricky Steamboat defeated Jim Brunzell. I'm pretty sure that was a pretty good match. Usually when they have babyface versus babyface matches back then, they call them scientific matches because they'll like not cheat. They're both baby faces, blah blah blah. Or both good guys. All right. Quarterfinals, Junkyard Dog defeated Adrian Adonis. Brutus Beefcake defeated Pedro Morales. And Ricky Steamboat defeated Billy Jack Haynes. Semi-final action, Harley Race defeated Junkyard Dog. Ricky Steamboat defeated Brutus Beefcake. And in the finals, it was Harley Race defeating Ricky Steamboat to win the tournament. I think this is where they crowned him the king of wrestling. I think. Could be wrong. Other matches on that card, Hulk Hogan and Paul Orndorff ended up in a doubles disqualification match for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 1988, SummerSlam 88 happened. I do believe this was the first SummerSlam. Took place in New York City at Madison Square Garden, drawing 20,000 people. British Bulldogs went to Broadway with Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau. Hello, Brenda Watson. Bad News Brown defeated Ken Patera. Rick Rude defeated Junkyard Dog by disqualification. Powers of Pain, Warlord and Barbarian defeated the Bolsheviks, Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov. Ultimate Warrior defeated the Honky Tonk Man to win the WWF Intercontinental Champion or Intercontinental title. This lasted like 31 seconds. It was supposed to be Honky Tonk Man versus Bruce Beefcake. They did an angle on. This was. I think now. This wasn't the parasailing thing. This was. They did an angle on TV where Ron Bass injured, took the first and injured Brutus Beefcake, so he wasn't able to compete. Therefore, Honky Tonk Man got on the mic. Hey, I'm ready. I'll take on anybody. Cue the music. Ultimate Warrior came down, got a huge pop. 31 seconds later, he was your new Intercontinental Champion. Dino Bravo defeated Don Morocco. WWF World Tag Team Champions. Demolition defeated the Hart Foundation. Big Boss Man pinned Coco Beware. Jake Roberts pinned Hercules. And in the main event, it was the Mega Power Brother Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. Defeated Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase. The special referee in that match was Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, because I think, was it a SummerSlam? Was it the following year SummerSlam or 90s SummerSlam where Bruce Beefcake was supposed to go up against Mr. Perfect? And that's when the parasailing accident happened, and then they threw in Terry Von Erich. Is that right? '90. I'll look it up a little bit. I do get my dates kind of confused, but yeah, it was SummerSlam '90 where he was supposed to, because he had defeated him at WrestleMania 6. Um, then he was going to get a title shot at SummerSlam, and that's when a parasailing accident happened. He threw in Texas Tornado Terry Von Erich. Sometimes I gotta think about shit, and when I can't exactly remember and want to be, right, I gotta look it up. Yes, one of these days I'll have it. Anyway, that was of course '88 on this date in 1992 was SummerSlam '90. This took place in London, England, uh, at Wembley Stadium, drawing 78,927. Dark match, Papa Congo defeated Tito Santana. Tatanka defeated Berserker. Bushwhackers and Jim Duggan defeated the Nasty Boys and the Mount. Main car matches, we had the LOD with Paul Ellering and Rocco. Gosh, I felt so bad for the Road Warriors at this time. I didn't really understand how bad things were. I think this was according to the Dark Side of the Ring and WWE documentary, if you want to talk about Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. This one was in the height of his demons, and I think this was the last match the Road Warriors had till, let's say, what, 3 to 4 years. I think they reformed in '96 because then Hawk had his back problems, had that back injury. Then Hawk just kind of went solo, teamed with Kendo Nagasaki. No, not Kendo Nagasaki. Road Warrior. Can't think of his name now. team with him and in Japan as the Cattle Raisers following it, and would make appearances in WCW as well. And WCW Japan back and forth. Nails defeated Virgil. Shawn Michaels battled Rick Martel in a double countout. World Tag Team Champions Earthquake and Earthquake and Typhoon. The Natural Disasters defeated the Beverly Brothers, Bo and Bo and Blake, who was Mike Enos and Wayne Blue. Crush defeated Repo Man. Former tag team partners. Crush was the third member of Demolition, who came in later. Repo Man, of course, was Barry Darso. Demolition Smash. This still like a little hamburger mask on them, and no one could tell who it was. The Ultimate Warrior defeated WWF Champion Randy Savage by count out. Somebody when they were typing this out, we got the O and count out. Anyway, Ultimate Warrior defeated Kamala via disqualification, and in the main event, it was Davey Boy Smith defeating Bret Hart to win the WWF Intercontinental Championship. On this date in 1994, I remember getting this on at a Video Plus, I think it was, or rented this one. This was a pretty good SummerSlam, I thought, at the time. It was SummerSlam 94 that took place in Chicago, Illinois at the United Center, drawing 23,000 people. Start match, Adam Bomb defeated Quang. Quang was Savio Vega. Quang was Savio Vega. Erwin R. Steichter and Bam Bam Bigelow defeated the Head Shrinkers. By disqualification, WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze, who is Medusa Michele, pinned Bull Nakano. Razor Ramon defeated his big buddy Diesel, who was seconded by Walter Payton. Razor Ramon was. He wound up winning the WWF Intercontinental title. And this, was this the one? No, okay. Shawn did kind of mess up and cost Kevin Nash the title, or Diesel the championship, but it really came ahead the following. SummerSlam is where it became they officially split Diesel and Shawn Michaels. At the next pay-per-view, SummerSlam, and made Diesel a babyface. Tatanka defeated Lex Luger. Of course, this is the feud where Tatanka was accusing Lex Luger of taking Ted DiBiase's money and being part of $1 Million Corporation. But it was actually Tatanka who was turned heel here and aligned himself with the $1 Million Corporation, managed by Ted DiBiase. Jeff Jarrett defeated Mabel. WWF World Champion Bret Hart defeated Owen Hart in a steel cage match. Pretty good steel cage match. Probably around this area, probably one of the better ones. No blood in it, of course, because it was the new generation, but still kind of be family friendly. Not quite Attitude yet. That would come about 3 years later. But and in the main event, it was the real Undertaker, Mark Calloway. Changed his outfit a little bit. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. That's what I was saying. It was. It wasn't this one, but Shawn Michaels did. I think he did. If I remember correctly, he did mess up causing Diesel a championship, but they were tag team champions as well. So they went into SummerSlam being the tag team champions. and then teamed up with a couple of people. I forgot who else. And Shawn Michaels messed up again, and that's when the I guess the Shawn Diesel tag team, the Click, two dudes with attitudes, whatever you want to call it. They didn't top that till they were both baby faces. But so it was Survivor Series, the next pay per view after the SummerSlam, where uh, Diesel officially became a babyface. Because it was that same Survivor Series where Bret Hart and Bob Backlund had that match. Owen Hart thought it was a throw in a towel match. Davey Boy was the towel guy for uh, Bret Hart, of course, and Owen Hart was the towel guy for Bob Backlund. Yes, Chuck Norris was on that Survivor Series, and I forgot how. I guess Owen Hart knocked Davey Boy in a post or something like that, knocking him out. Bob Backlund trapped Bret Hart in a crossface chicken wing, and it, of course, had a good hold on it. Bret wouldn't give up, and Owen did some good acting. He should won a Emmy for this one, but they don't nominate wrestlers for Emmys, not for wrestling anyway. But he pleaded with his mother because their mom and dad was at ringside. Martha Hart wound up throwing in the towel for Bret Hart, and Bob Backlund became WWF champion. Then at Madison Square Garden, I think 3 or 4 days later, after Survivor Series, Diesel pinned Bob Backlund in like 5 seconds to become WWF champion. Anyway, yeah. In case you didn't know, the imposter Undertaker at the time was Brian Lee. I think we talked about that in one of the Smoky Mountain, or yeah. I don't know if he was wrestling that match or had a promo. Yeah, I think he had a promo with Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch. And you tell his hair was darker. He was kind of beefing up a little bit. Grew his hair like all one length. And basically, that's where he was getting ready to become the Undertaker. But then, once the hair grew, and everything, they put him in the Undertaker gray and black. And when the real Undertaker came back, it was black and purple. Yeah, this one I would say I was becoming a definite WWF fan at this time because Hulk Hogan was in WCW. And I'm not trying to say, oh, let's just say how outgrown I was an NWA fan. I was pretty much an NWA fan, throughout 85, 86, 87, whatever. And when Hogan came into WCW, like I said, it wasn't. It's like, okay, for a while, then it just got a little bit too much. Definitely outgrown Hulk Hogan. But then he came into WCW, and it's like, I started becoming a WWF fan because, look at this card here. You had the Head Shrinkers, you had Bigelow, you had Andre Blaze, Top Hall. Jeff Jarrett was here, the real Double J, Jeff Jarrett, the world's greatest wrestler, and the world's greatest singer. JE, JARRE, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, with his baby tonight. And of course, like Bret Nolan WrestleMania 10, Brett Owen match at WrestleMania 10 has got to be a definite top 5 best WrestleMania matches, I think. Even to this day. Even though it was 90, yeah, 94. Even though it's 1994, and it's 2025 now, that's still got to be one of the best, wrestling matches. And of course, always dug the Undertaker. Like I said, he's one of those guys. I liked him when he was Mark Callis, and a Master of Pain. Because here's this 6'10" big dude walking the ropes, and I was like, man, this is freaking cool. And of course, he quit doing the elbow drop from he would walk the ropes and hit the elbow drop, but he kind of quit doing that when he became the Undertaker. And it's like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird to me. It's like I remember him being the Master of Pain in Memphis. The Punisher, yeah, he was getting his feet wet, but definitely remember him being the Master of Pain in Memphis. Then going to WCW as me, Mark Callis. Like, okay, here's big, Duggan. Always pretty good. He had I think they call it the heat-seeking elbow in WCW, where he'll walk the rope, hit the elbow drop, then hit when he was a single star. Singles wrestler. He would finish people off with a heart punch. I thought that was pretty cool, but then at once Survivor Series came up, and here comes me, Mark Callis, being called Kane the Undertaker. Like, but on the one hand, it's like, me, Mark Callis, come on, man. But WWF fans, WWF kids, I mean, go back and watch when he first came out. Those kids were spooked. I mean, that's probably the one of the last real good gimmicks that really got over people. I'm pretty sure there was some after that, but I'm talking about I don't know, like the gimmick type thing. That, like I said, kids were like this terrified. I'm like, kid, quit crying, quit being so scared. It's just me, Mark Ellis. They'll just hit you with a heart punch after walking the ropes and hit an elbow drop. But so yeah, I was getting to become a definitely a WWF fan here, Attitude Era, stuff like that, and still watching WCW. Was a fan of that, even though I wasn't a fan of Hulk Hogan. Um, remember going to Omni and when Hulk Hogan came out, is going to wrestle Ric Flair, uh, and everybody in the Omni booed him, and he was like shocked. And this was, I mean, this was for this wasn't because of anything he said or reasons, whatever. It's just the fact that Hulk Hogan, the WWF guy, was in Atlanta, Georgia, facing Ric Flair. Atlanta, Georgia was NWA territory, Horseman country, and that's why he was booed. And people kind of was over the people. If they were still fans at the time, they were outgrown. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, train, and believe in yourself. Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan. They outgrew that. Alrighty here. Yeah, Chuck Norris was at that Survivor Series. Forgot who he gave a round. What was it? Kama or somebody? He gave a roundhouse kick to. Who it was? because that's the one where he wrestled Yokozuna in a casket match. It is revenge. Rest in peace. Oh yes, the Undertaker. Gonna kick your ass. He's gonna beat up everybody. That's my Paul Bearer impression. Not a good one. Just man, I'm not going to have my spaghetti. Oh, I thought it was Survivor Series. Or not? Yeah, I thought it was Survivor Series. See, sometimes I get twisted. Because I thought the Rumble. Or okay, so I was right. The Survivor Series. I forgot what he did. Well, I'm pretty sure that'll come up in a future episode. Anyway, is everybody ready? Speaking of the WWF, we're going to watch some WWF from 1988. So when everybody's ready, let me throw up the here. There's the link in the comment. So when everybody's ready, I mean, was it was Brett was was it Undertaker and Shawn that was in a casket match at the Royal Rumble a few years later? That's the one where Shawn hurt his back because it hit. When he took a bump outside, he hit the small of his back on the casket. Got what year the Royal Rumble? 88 maybe. I'll do the countdown here, and then when I say 5, the Wheeling Civic Center in Wheeling, West Virginia. The funky beat there. Yeah. And talking about legit bad dudes, in case you boys and girls who just start following wrestling, you've heard the name Haku. Here he is right here. Guy that everybody says that uh, is the biggest badass in wrestling. Legit. Yeah. You hear me when I said press? Oh. And speaking of legendary, there's a legendary manager, Bobby the Brain. Yes. I'm at 240. Are you at 240 or 2 minutes 40 seconds? Excuse me. But yeah, like I said, I'm at 2 minutes 51 seconds now. King Haku is out. Are you there? Can you hear me on here? Damn, that went loud. Like we're in my little bar here. Hello. Did a countdown and everything. Can you hear me on here? Can you hear me now? Holy shit, that's loud. Are you there now? Kinda hard to hear me. I ain't got the bright. I don't have the bright lights on me. Oh, okay. But you can't hear. Can you hear me? Somewhat. Are you there? Two, 5, 1. 2 minutes, 51 seconds. Yeah, I'll do this for people in the chat or who's watching live. Am I distorted or is it your earphone? How about this? Oh, that's reverb. How about now? Is it a little better now? Okay, so yeah. Pain. All right. I'm pressing play now. Yes, like I said, it's the legendary Bobby Heenan. It's going King, the legendary King Haku, going against the not so legendary Mike Richards. She's supposed to be listening too. I do not have a stand on my phone, so I gotta look down on it. Yes, by the way, that is Piston Man and Jesse the Body Ventura doing commentary. Haku is not done with this. Not done with young Mike Richards yet. Oh, what is Mike Richards doing? What? There's that big thrust kick. That's going to be it for young Mike Richards. Just telling his face. He probably, probably ripped one right there in his face. And I give this era of King Haku, credit. He didn't say nothing, but just used, he kind of took the whole King thing, kind of definitely made his own because, like I said, he didn't do promos. That's what Bobby Heenan's there for. But did the movements and stuff like that that made it work. And did he lose the crown to? He lost the crown to Hacksaw Duggan, right? Because they kind of made it like a championship. Mean Gene. So yes, back when they first started doing pay-per-views, not all pay-per-views were on Sunday or Sat. Like now, sometimes Sunday, sometimes Saturday. There's that world famous flying elbow from the Macho Man. Yes, Survivor Series was the WWF's Thanksgiving tradition. Which, if you want it, which if you want to, you can go back and watch. I did do the classic wrestling reminiscing of so far the first three Survivor Series. And here's the posing. And look, I could tell right there he was having lust in his eyes for Elizabeth already. But yeah, it was on Thanksgiving to counter Starcade or Jim Crockett promotion NWA Starcade, and that's why Starcade got moved till December. Still kind of funny to see a pay per view on a Monday night. Uh, One of my favorite tag teams, Shawn Michaels. Talked about Shawn Michaels earlier, but this is a tag team that he kind of got his big break in. The Midnight Rockers, or the Rockers, here in the WWF. And nothing says 1988 better than those hairdos and the bandanas. And who are they taking on? They're taking on Trent Knight and Alan Navarro. That's Trent Knight in the ring right now. Uh, wow. That is a power bomb. A power bomb from a at that time considered a smaller person. Well, I mean, because you got to remember at this time they just had the 4 pay per views: Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Then King of the Ring. Then later on, the In Your House. Oh, Monty. Oh, Monty Jannetty. They didn't do their double fist bump. They must have been high on this show. They're probably hung over. Yeah, I mean, even I will give AEW credit. Their pay per views not like monthly. Well, they're kind of sort of starting to be somewhat monthly. But yeah, once they kind of start doing every month, it's and now I mean, personally, if you're gonna have a 2 night pay per view premium live event, let it be just WrestleMania. Still not a fan of the 2 night or SummerSlam. Rest in peace, Virgil. And here's another one. I was like, when he came out being Virgil, the ballet of Ted DiBiase, I'm like, that's not Virgil, that's Soul Train Jones. Good God, people. I still say it. Ted DiBiase is definitely one of those people who should have been world champion. But you gotta understand, back in that day, and just let this play hot potato and whoever was hot at the time and whatnot. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how they did it back in the day. But well, that's why all the WWF shows were. He had some squash matches and a bunch of promos highlighting their event. That's why most of the territories went. The big boss man. What was I saying before? I think I lost my train of thought. Bob Emery, another career enhancement talent guy, Rockets, and just about everybody. But see, that's what kind of sucks now is like then they turn around and have the pay per view matches on like Raw or SmackDown or Dynamite or stuff that like Wednesday night they had Darby Allin versus Claudio. Claudio was kind of the guy who put Darby on the shelf, but they had the match on Dynamite in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and or anything that goes, whatever it was. But it's like, didn't that be on the pay per view and not? Now, rest in peace, Big Boss Man, Big Bubba Rogers. Um, a guy for his size, his build. I mean, he wasn't a big muscular guy. I mean, he was just a corn fed, big, strong dude. That dude could freaking move. He was very, very agile for his size. There's a Dr. Style slick. Turn out the lights. The party's not yet. Oh, yeah, he does a sidewalk slam. Here it is. Turn off the lights. The party's over. Come on. Show it. Oh, they ain't show it. Oh. Now, sometimes, this is one part of the gimmick, especially for heels. Since he was a prison guard, they handcuff people and beat him with a nightstick. But see, if you're watching the commercials, if you're not watching commercials, you're watching the whole uh little video package of you know what brought the match together and stuff like that. Basically, all the stuff you watch at the pre-show, the little video package you'll see again. But I mean, that's kind of what happens if you. So yeah, if you don't if you get the Peacock with ads, you'll see ads. The mega powers, brother. And see, I mean, look how iconic even this, you know, uh, era of Hulk Hogan was with the mega powers. You see it all the time. You see wrestlers all the time will do the little handshake like that. The Outrunners, uh, they they do it. I mean that's I mean people definitely dug the Macho Man. Rest in peace. All the guys, the young wrestling fans. Miss Elizabeth was kind of your first wrestling crush. If you didn't watch UWF or World Class and see Missy Hyatt, but that's not the point. But then you got Hulk Hogan there. Man, that's rest in peace rest in peace all three of them. Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth. Ooh, another rest in peace. Another one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. That was Junkyard Dog. Oh, the world title. Yeah, back in those days, they just didn't pass around the world title like they do now. I mean, the fact that Roman Reigns kept it for what 4 or 5 years is rare, very rare in these days. You had MJF hold the AEW World Title for a year. Like I say, you didn't see that often, or you don't see that often anymore. Oh, John Ziegler, the man, the myth, the legend, John Ziegler. Having a tough time here with the Junkyard Dog. Gosh, rest in peace, Rick Rude. Oh my goodness. What the shit was that? That was a twisting thump. And people, I mean, at this time, people didn't care. They're up and cheering for the dog. As before fans knew things about, botching moves or sit there and go, oh, he botched the move. He botched the move. They didn't care. They just there to watch some wrestling. Help me up here, boss. Thanks, boss. E-learning. Bunch of ultra morons. Yes, it did. A little distraction, thanks to Miss Elizabeth. And that's when the lust happened. The lust in Hogan's eyes for Elizabeth. And you got to remember, this is three guys cutting a promo here, and it wasn't like scripted or that was probably giving bulletin points, but it's like, okay, go do it. Here's your bulletin points. Go out there and do it. and he didn't. He can cut a promo. DiBiase could cut a promo, heel or babyface. I never had one of those ice cream bars. I could never find them in stores. I know when I went to the grocery shop with my parents, I would look for uh the WWF ice cream bars and could never find them. And here's the Ultimate Warrior. Again, rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. Jesse Wolf, I think he's still kicking. I'm not sure. Jesse Wolf, another like longtime preliminary guy. I mean, obviously he was good at it, and they kept using him. Everybody kept using him. Now we're gonna see some very like very scientific, the ultimate skills of the ultimate ring skills of the Ultimate Warrior. Look at this. Look at this. Look at there. Using can't use ropes to his advantage, but um, very technically sound. Constant. Like just about all of his matches could have been 5-star matches. And that is the ninja chop, the Japanese uh, open-handed. Open-handed. I mean, nothing wrong with chops. Now he might whip out a hurricanrana here, maybe a flying drop kick, maybe a clover leaf. Here we go. Very there was like he's Ultimate Warrior. He's up there with the best technical wrestlers in the world, like Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, Bobby Eaton. Very safe, not snug. Yes, I am being facetious and full of shit. Let's face it, the Warrior kept it simple. And here's the best finisher in the world. I hate this. I mean, even at this time, I hate this finisher. But just my opinion, just being honest, Sting wound up being a better in ring performer than Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, he came a long way from being fired from Bill Watts and being a dingo warrior. But I would say, as far as in ring, who's somebody who actually got better as far as being an in ring performer, Sting was better of the two. uh, especially in the WWF at this time, it was more about character than giving 5-star matches. I mean, Sting was, I can't really say Sting was this shit out 5-star matches, but he became a lot better. I mean, that match, okay, the tag team match with him, Luger against the Signers at Super Brawl 1, that was a hell of a fucking match. They actually won Match of the Year that year on Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Heck, he had a good match with Rude. He had a good match with Vader. Ric Flair, of course, which, I mean, that's Ric Flair. Speaking of slapdicks, there's Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard. And rest in peace, Ron Bass. Oh, Jim Evans. And this could be a main event anywhere in the country. You have it live here on TV. Jimmy Evans, the rookie upstart at this time, versus Ron Bass. Ron Bass is a bad dude. I mean, I think he was sick with something. I forgot what it was, but he was in pain and everything, but he just didn't think nothing of it. They wound up passing away. Hey, it's Dizzy Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, the Zodiac, the Butcher, the Big Booty, Brother Brudeye. Yeah, I mean, not everything was, like I said, not everything was crisp, but, and like I said, before the pedigree, that was just a face first pile driver. Um, but he's a lot more agile, a lot more mobile. And like I said, Sting wasn't going to give you he wasn't going to shit out 5-star matches. Oh, that's going to cost you some money, pal. And who is making a save? It is Brutus, the fucking Barber Beefcake. Man, that dude was, I mean, at this time, the dude was fucking over. But yeah, Sting was a little more mobile and athletic enough to where you can have, if you're a good wrestler, technician in the ring, you can have he can have a good match with you. It's not like he'll stink at the door. yeah, that's the thing too. Is he was wrestling the actual pro wrestling territory. You know, UWF. Then he wound up going to Crockett after Crockett bought UWF. Sting put him on the map, or Flair put him on the map. He was working with, Flair, Tully, Arn, Mike Rotundo. Had good matches with don't forget Muda, man. I just was a few weeks ago I watched the match between King and Muda on that Halloween Havoc. Beefcake was over, dude. The Bopper Man was over. I mean that parasailing accident, screwed up his career. He was about to become like we talked about earlier, the SummerSlam '90. He was going to be the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, listen to the crowd, man. The crowd dug him. That's not no piped in bullshit. And Beefcake will pay for that. We brother. Well, see, at that time, you said, "Hey, I was a Barber fan, a Bruce the Barber fan." You didn't have to put in the Beefcake part. The family is Rougeau brothers. They were a good tag team. They were a good tag team. That dude is probably as good as they say he was. I would say Hercules Hernandez. Watch him now after hearing people, then watch him. Uh, um, watch him now in like different set of eyes, I guess. Hercules Hernandez was pretty decent, dude. But yeah, I mean, because you can always admit it's like, hey, it was the '80s. You know, I mean, look all the fans. I mean, all the fans cheered for Bruce Beefcake. It's like, hey, who wouldn't have a pair of a jacket like that, like he wore, which I didn't find out till is either his interview or one of the. I think it's one of his interviews or somebody's interview where when he first came into WWF and they was trying to develop the Bruce Beefcake image, he did contact the same people who designed the tights and for or britches, whatever you want to call it, for Motley Crue, David Lee Roth, and all them. So the same people who made the outfits for Motley Crue and Poison, Cinderella, David Lee Roth also did Brutus fucking Barber Beefcake. But yeah, man, it was a cool little time here. I got to see Junkyard Dog, and after seeing that match, he's not the same, definitely not the same Junkyard Dog as he was in 84, 82, where he was in way better shape and a little more mobile. I mean, go back to watch his older Mid South stuff. JYD was a little more mobile. It's kind of sad that it, because of the demons, of course, he let himself go physically and just relied on charisma and uh, the same generic. I mean, again, we weren't going to get a 5-star match with JYD. It was mostly charisma and the image and he was a brawler type, of course, but way more mobile. The headbutt, that's all he needed. Big boss man for a guy his size. Like I said, it for a guy his size, man, his build, he was heavy right there, but during the course of his career in the WWF, he did he trimmed down some. Didn't really. I mean, he wasn't like a bodybuilder physique, but did trim down a good bit. But even at that the size he was at this point, man, he was very mobile. Um, Gosh, man, there's a lot of rest in pieces in this show. I mean, he had Bobby the Brain Heenan in the first match. Big Boss Man, JYD, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior. Just in that one promo, Andre and Bobby Heenan and Virgil. He had the Mega Powers, uh, Savage, Hogan, and Elizabeth, Ron Bass, and I don't know. I think I did mention Ultimate Warrior as well. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's a good show. It's kind of now very surreal. They gonna like I said, it was one count the all three Mega Powers, uh, four Heenan, Hogan, Elizabeth, Savage, Boss Man, JYD, Andre, Virgil, Warrior, Bass, You had Rick Rude in the interview. That's 11. Yeah, Ron Bass. But man, that's 11. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me wonder too. A lot of times when I see Ted DiBiase, even in WWF, I mean, especially when you watch his heel stuff in Georgia, his heel stuff in Mid South, even his babyface stuff in Georgia and Mid South UWF, it's like I wonder if he would have became world champion if he had stayed in or wound up coming over to Crockett. Now, would they have used him well? Maybe, maybe not. Would he have been this, gone to Japan? Or, I mean, obviously he made the right choice here. I mean, even though he was not the world champion, he was the top heel of the company. I guess you can say Andre was, but I mean, Ted was either a 1B or a solid or close to. But you had some great baby faces at the Midnight Rockers, great baby face tag team. Demolition, they were a good heel tag team at the time. Um, Rougeos, I mean, Rougeos were really good. Just so fucking underrated. It's unreal. I mean, I mentioned that in my this year was the WrestleMania 3 Classic Wrestling Reminiscing, and and the Russos were in a match, and like I said, a very very underrated tag team. Rick Rude is another guy. It's one of those yeah, take them time machine and just kicked open that door and in CNN Center and like, okay, Bill, you're about to quit. So what was your plans going forward? Because you're gonna quit. I'll take the job. Not Bischoff. Who would have been the world champion? Don't know what the qualms were about Paul P. Dangerously, Paul Heyman. I can imagine what they were, um, but yeah, could have had that working relationship with Smoky Mountain. Could have helped keep Smoky Mountain open as a developmental territory, because that's what Bill Watts was going to do. Change talent, just kind of keep it as a developmental territory. But at least that's what Jim Cornette made it sound like. And I think that's what's really missing right now. Is like, and let's face it, I don't think you'll ever get that back. I mean, unless they do, um, the WWF gives, uh, like that promotion we was talking about last night, that not pro wrestling, whatever, with the Ray J Johnson and Sicko Stu incident. That's another thing that incident cost that company. They was part of that WWE ID thing, and I don't know how much money they was giving that promotion to put their stamp on it to help develop talent, but man, they lost it. But and that's the thing too. It's like, back in the territory days, if it's a local college football player didn't get drafted or didn't quite make the cut in football or baseball or whatever, you know, desire sport, you had that promoter there to kind of say, hey, gonna get this shot. Of course, like the Vern Gagne's and the 80 grams, even Bill Watts, Ole, the collegiate wrestlers. It's like, are you going to Olympics? You want to try this pro wrestling thing? Uh, Had to check your ego a little bit, but or a lot. It could be financially rewarding for a lot of people. Like Steve Williams, Ted DiBiase, he played football in college. Tito Santana, Tully Blanchard, Randy Savage, he played baseball. I think he was drafted by the Cardinals. And these were like I said, it's all legit athletes. Now, granted, uh, Ultimate Warrior wasn't. Hulk Hogan was. I mean, he played a little bit of sports, but not at the collegiate level. Um, Hell, even JBL, he played football at collegiate level. Some, those people, yeah, worked out for somebody like a Jim Wilson, and just it didn't work out too well. You maybe should have stuck with Jim Barnett. Kidding. Accusations, accusations, accusations. But I think that's what's kind of missing is like, and of course, nowadays at the indie level, unfortunately, you're not going to get um, especially just starting out, you're not going to get that, what they call livable wage now. If you're going to try to be an indie pro wrestler, you probably need to have at least a full time job. And definitely a plan B because they're not going to take everybody. And usually AEW, they're going to take people who are the only people they kind of use decent. I mean, they got a few, going to call it homegrown people now, but and you got a lot of people, a lot of young people, they're just shoved over the Ring of Honor, not doing a damn thing with. I mean, hopefully they do, bring up Powerhouse Hobbs. That would be I think that's going to be a very positive thing. I believe, my opinion. Anyway, it is getting about that time. I'm going to cut this down here for the night. Get everything packed up, ready to go pick up my samples and hit the road back home tomorrow. I'm going to be in my own bed tomorrow. Get some R&R this weekend. Definitely some rest and relaxation. We'll check out Fashion Paris. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a barn burning or barn burner of a paper or premium live event. It's going to be, I think it'd be fine, but it's not going to be as great as SummerSlam. Definitely not that. That'd be kind of like a glorified Raw or SmackDown type premium live event. Anyway, like that does. I'm wrapping this up for tonight. You folks have a good one, please. Yes, it is a holiday weekend. If you drink, find you a designated driver, call it Uber, taxi, whatever.